Hey Rebirth fam, mommy life never stops even when you want to film a video. So Rayne will be present just for a little while, just until she eats. She just woke up, so you know, breastfeeding life. Welcome to my labor and delivery story. Whether you're about to have a baby yourself, or whether you're thinking about getting pregnant, or you're just curious, you're at the right place. Thank you guys for tuning in. Let's jump right into it.
Hey yo guys, I'm about to be a father. The process already started. I'm just bringing everything in.
Everything happened so fast. They called us and they were like, hey, like, we're ready for you. And then we literally got here. They pretty much told me, you know, like, take off your clothes and put this robe thing on.
They were so forward.
I know, right? Like, why don't we dinner first? And then, sorry, it's hard to concentrate and talk.
Contraction.
It turns out I was 1 to 2 centimeters dilated, so my cervix was actually opening up, as opposed to earlier in the day when Dwayne and I came, and it was shut. Like, to our surprise, like literally, like what was it, like 4 hours later, it opened up, and we're like, oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Like, we were like freaking out. And then so my doctor, initially she was going to use a Foley catheter to start opening the cervix. However, it wasn't necessary anymore, so she just used this like crochet hook looking thing, and she broke my water. And yeah, now we're here. Here meaning they put me on a saline drip at first, and now they have me on oxytocin so that my contractions can speed up and we can just push the process of labor along and I can get pumpkin out. Another thing, unfortunately, pumpkin pooed inside. And so they say that that's normal, like it happens all the time for babies who are overdue. They usually end up like passing some form of bowel movement. So it actually ends up being a good thing that we didn't wait and that we were actually induced. Now we're just monitoring pumpkin. They're using this monitoring machine. They take my blood pressure every half hour. Also every half hour they increase the dosage of oxytocin, and yeah, now we're just riding it out.
Yeah, I'm gonna take my voice to a hotel room. I'm gonna.
So I wasn't actually induced until about 2:30 that afternoon. Before I was induced, I asked my healthcare professionals, listen, can you guys just, you know, give me like half an hour just to enjoy the fact that I can walk around? Because as it turns out, when you're being induced, you can't move from that bed because they have to monitor you and the baby 24/7. So that just meant that my birth plan went out the window because I really wanted to utilize their jacuzzis. I wanted to walk around and use my birth ball. I wanted to do all of that stuff just to help with the labor pain. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to do any of that. I was chained to a bed and I couldn't really move more than a couple steps from the bed. So being chained to a bed, it was not ideal for my birth plan. So I was in labor for 12 hours total. For the first 7 hours, I was natural. It was great. It was a part of my plan. I really wanted to give birth naturally. So I was there 7 hours, going strong, going at it. My contractions started getting worse and heavier, and I thought to myself, listen, I'm going along nicely. Like this is great, you know, like I must be far along. Like I must be getting somewhere at this point. I asked my nurse at the time to call my OB and see if she can check how far along I'm dilated. She came in, my OB that is, and she checked me and she said, Rayne, you're 2 centimeters dilated. Excuse me? By this time, I was in labor for 7 hours. 7. And I was I was so exhausted. I was in so much pain. Like I was like at a loss for words. I was like, what? Excuse me, what? No, these contractions are the highest. Like, and you're telling me I have to sit here? And she goes, oh yeah, you're 2 centimeters dilated, so it's gonna be about maybe about 9 to 12 hours more. Guys, I broke down. I couldn't do it. I was like, no. Like I had it. I was like, no, I can't do this. This is ridiculous. So you're telling me I have to sit in this much pain for 9 to 12 hours? Are you crazy, lady? At this point, it felt like my pelvis and my back were being crushed simultaneously. It was awful, okay? Like, they say labor pain is no joke. It is no joke. Honestly, my morale was shattered when she came in and told me that. So at that point, maybe maybe another hour went by and I was like, I can't do this. Like, I need to get this epidural. The epidural guy came in. I know it's not his name. The specialist came in and he administered the epidural. Everybody always talks about how awful the epidural is, but honestly, I thought it was completely fine. I guess I was in just too much pain to really care. I really just wanted the drugs at that point. I was like, nope, 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 give it to me and give it to me good. Like, it's a big needle, but you don't feel the needle going in because before they give you the needle, they give you numbing first. So I felt the numbing and yeah, it stung a little bit, but it really wasn't that bad. The only thing I didn't like about the epidural was the fact that it made me itchy. I was so uncomfortable. Like, the epidural was a dream, let's be real, but that was the only thing I hated about it. Like, it was really, really bad. Like, I didn't know if I was allergic to it, but apparently it was a normal reaction because women go through it, but like, it was really uncomfortable. When I got that epidural, I slept like a sweet little baby. I was able to finally get some shut-eye. I was no longer in any more pain. I could feel some pressure. I could feel some like, you know, it went back to like period pain. It wasn't, you know, the soul crushing, the body crushing, soul crushing contractions that I was having any longer. It was a whole lot more manageable. Okay, Rayne, can I put you down? Okay, I'm gonna put you down. Okay, so blah 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 blah, epidural. About 4 or 5 hours passed by. My OB came in and she checked once again how far along I was, and next thing I knew, she said, yeah, okay, Rayne, I think we're ready to push. So I was like, what? Like, you know, I was like, I'm not prepared for this. What do I do? Like, I was kind of hesitant to push at first. Like, I was like, like, you know, like, I was like, I just didn't know what to do. Like, so anyways, they talked me through it and I really had to bear down. So the proper way to push is to like take a really deep breath, and then you're just gonna hold it and push, and you're gonna hold that for about 10 seconds. So I'm pushing and my baby's not coming out. And so oh, I almost forgot to tell you guys. Yes, sweetie. So when I got that epidural, my baby's heart plummeted. It absolutely dropped. It was the scariest thing in my entire life, and they don't tell you this. Women who are out there, you guys tell me in the comments below, when you got that epidural, did your baby's heart drop too? I want to know. So yeah, it was not okay. My nurse, she must have been like really like brand spanking new on the job at the time, because she like freaked out. Like, she freaked out. Like, she like pretty much boogied, like ran out of the room. And next thing I know, I see my OB, I see bare nurses coming in, nurses that I've never seen before, like, and they're just, you know, go go go. They came in and my doctor, she placed this this contraption on Pumpkin's head. It has like a little hook, and it hooks onto to her scalp, and pretty much what it does, it gives a much more accurate reading of her heart rate as opposed to the monitor that they put on your stomach. That's just kind of like more superficial. So she put, yeah, baby. So she put that on Rayne's head, and she was able to see that, you know, Rayne, her heart rate was low or slower, but it was okay. Anyways, I'm pushing. Maybe I pushed for maybe about like an hour, half an hour, an hour tops. And my doctor was like, you know, she was like, all right, like, we got to get this baby out. Like, she is in distress at this point. It's becoming too much for her. So I need to intervene. So what she did, I actually had an episiotomy. Which means that she cut me. But like, she used this suction cup tool, which essentially just helps think of it like a plunger, almost like a white plunger. It's kind of like what it looked like. She stuck it to Rayne's head, and she helped. As I pushed, she pulled essentially, and it just helped Rayne come out. Her coming out, it felt like I was on a roller coaster. Like, you know, when your belly drops, like, that's exactly the feeling. Like this baby just came out of me, and it felt like someone came out of me. Like, I know for those of you who have never experienced it before, it's like, okay, well, what does that feel like? It feels like your belly is dropping. Like, it literally feels like something and someone is coming out of you. Like, there's no other way to explain it. It's such a bizarre feeling, but I felt so much relief, and they whisked her away. Remember, I told you guys that she pooed, so they wanted to ensure that she didn't swallow any of the meconium. They wanted to ensure that, you know, she didn't have any infection. They cleaned her up and put the eye drops in her eyes and did all that stuff. And Dwayne was there, and he was crying. He was really excited and happy to see her. Throughout the entire process, Dwayne was my rock, absolutely 100%. You know, when the nurse rushed out, I looked in his face, and he was cool, calm, and collected, even though he was shitting bricks. Dwayne was the first person to hold her. they roughed her up and gave her to daddy, and Dwayne was just staring into her eyes, and he was just saying hi, you know, like, hi baby. Like, he's really, really happy, really excited to see her. Yeah, he was excited to see you, babe. You know, soon after I was like, you know, like trying to figure out, like, somebody tell me, like, what did I have? Like, you know, my mom said, it's a girl. And I said, it's a girl. Like, you know, just because everybody around me kept telling me, like, you're having a boy. And I was like, all right, well, we'll see. Like, you know, like, okay, we'll see when the day comes. And so this little firecracker, this little girl, she proved everybody wrong. She was just like, nope, I'm a girl. And yep, that's that on that. The next night, before they release you, they actually run a series of tests just to ensure that your baby is healthy and everything's okay. They took a blood test for Rayne, and it turns out that she had jaundice. And I had no idea what jaundice is. I had no idea how she got it. I didn't know anything, and I was terrified. For somebody to tell you that there's something wrong with your baby, that she's not 100% healthy, especially when you don't really know anything, you feel like shattered, you feel broken. You know, I had this idea that I was going to go home with my baby in 48 hours. Like, the next morning when we get up, they were going to release us and everything was going to be great. Rayne was admitted to NICU at around 2 a.m. the next morning, so on July 23rd. And they put her under these big blue lights. Essentially what jaundice is just an overgrowth, or like an overpopulation of bilirubin in her body, in her blood. So it causes yellowing of the skin. And, you know, even though I know that it wouldn't necessarily harm her, like, she was okay, unless it didn't go treated, it wouldn't harm her, she'd be fine. And it's really easy fix, essentially. But I guess, you know, my hormones and everything that was going on, I just could not stop crying. I was so sad, I was so upset, and I just wanted her to be okay. But they kept her for about 3 days, I believe it was. They kept her in the lights for 2 days, and then they kept her out of it for observation a day later. Dwayne and I were still able to bond with her. We fed her during feeding time every 2 hours. By that time, the next day, I was actually discharged from the maternity ward. So at that point, Dwayne and I didn't have anywhere to go because we didn't want to leave her side. We didn't want to go home and come back every 2 hours. That didn't really make any sense for us. So what we decided to do, we went over to the NICU, and they actually had a hostel area for us to stay. Thank you so much to the staff. You guys are awesome. They had a Ronald Mcdonald House. Shout out to you guys. You guys, honestly, you guys are awesome. You guys have the microwaves there. You have snacks. You have TV, couches. Like, you know, you just have somewhere for parents to, like, lounge and lay down and relax when their child is in NICU, and it just made a world of difference. So thank you so much to you guys.
We were finally able to bring Rayne home on July 25th, and she was a whopping 7 pounds on the dot.
So thank you guys so much for watching my labor and delivery story. I hope Rayne wasn't too much of a distraction for you guys. I know she's a little firecracker, this little girl. If you guys have any questions or comments about anything, let me know. All the mommies out there, I really want to connect with you guys. Let me know what you guys are going through, how you guys are feeling. I want to know your labor and delivery story too. Throw it in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, obviously, give it a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I will catch you in the next video.